Hey there guys, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, and what I'm going to tell you is that right now I'm going to give you this all-new Surge build that we tested and found to be absolutely insane. Okay, the Surge is still bugged, and the damage that you're going to get is completely randomized. But if we take advantage of a few factors about that, you can actually create a build that will perform well in Auric Damnation, including high intensity shock troopers, Maelstrom. We've done it live on stream. All right, if you guys want to see the stream where it all happened, okay, it's this one where I wrote the title as "The God Emperor Demanded a Surge Staff Build." Now, of course, that didn't actually happen, but you know it's 40k, so let's say that this is inspiration from the God Emperor himself. Now, I apologize, it's going to be a shorter video because my throat isn't very well, which is why I'm also not streaming tonight, but I still wanted to really get this video out for you, so please bear with me, okay? Now, first and foremost, before we get into this build, what you need to understand is that the recent bug of the Surge Staff enables it to hit potential weak spots, but did you notice how the small damage ticks can also hit the weak spot? Keep that in mind because that's really important. Let me show you again. Even the small damage ticks, if you pay close attention, do you see that 6 and the 5? The 6 hit a weak spot, right? Okay, the fact that even the small damage ticks, see, the Surge Staff's cast is made up of multiple ticks of damage, but only the final tick is really big. However, the fact that even the small ticks can potentially hit a random body part, limb, whatever, and a weak spot is what is important for this build. Why is it important? Because you can use it to get extra criticals than you normally would. Well, you can basically get more criticals than you normally would, which in turn allows you to take advantage of a particular passive that the Psyker has, therefore turning this negative bug where you get randomized damage. Yes, your damage is still random, unfortunately, but you can survive a lot better, therefore upping your survivability and literally making it so that you can walk through missions practically invulnerable to range fire. How do you do it? Okay, let me show you. Now, I tested it live on stream without showcasing the build, obviously, to prevent anybody from trying to copy this before we got it out to you guys. But basically, the talent tree is going to look something like this. We'll start off first by explaining that Soul Stealer, Quietude, Metal, these are all your means of regenerating toughness, all right? But it's mostly to prevent any hits from melee from giving you instantly, which you want to avoid, all right? Because just in case somebody gets past your incredible defenses. Perilous Combustion will just help you kill off hordes faster. And Perfect Timing works really well with this because guess what? You're going to be hitting a lot of critical hits, which means your warp timing is almost always, your perfect timing is almost always going to be stacked to max, which further boosts your surge damage by quite a bit. You've got Toughness Boost, Smite right here, okay, which is crucial because if you remember from the Void Strike build, even Smite can hit a weak spot, all right? So keep that in mind. Lightning Storm to help your Smite jump to more targets. Unfortunately, this no longer benefits the Surge Staff, but that's not important. You've got Peril Resistance, Psykinetics Aura, Inspiring Presence, Seer's Presence, Grab, Empathetic Evasion. Because you critical hit so much with this build, all right, you will actually be able to dodge range attacks almost constantly, which means that enemy gun is shooting you, nothing's going to happen. I have actually, now this is a very lucky instance because if it happens to be up at the time when a Tox Flamer's flame ticks over you, right, you will actually not get your toughness sapped by the Tox Flamer's flame. You will still take subsequent damage if you're standing in the fire, but if you're in the process of evading, this can actually help stop you from losing all your toughness while evading. It's a very niche circumstance, but in this build, where you critical hit quite often, you end up being quite godly with this, all right? Next, One with the Warp. One with the Warp allows you to gain toughness damage reduction based on your current peril. On top of that, you've got Peril Resistance here, Venting Shriek, Becoming Eruption. The main point is Creeping Flames. Why? We're going to apply the same strategies that we used with the Void Strike Staff as well to delete hordes together with Smite. Again, extremely powerful in Auric Damnation level. You've got your Peril Resistance here, you've got Health Boost, Warp Rider, Toughness Boost, Empowered Psionics, Overpowering Souls, and Charged Up. Overpowering Souls will grant you a guaranteed Empowered Psionics charge on elite kills, and you've got Charged Up, allowing you to store 3 charges. Empowered Psionics will empower your Smite to deal 125% damage and spread 50% faster between enemies. The spread is what you really want because you just want to hold the horde in place so that you can target them with a big Venting Shriek. All right? Warp Rider, of course, will increase your damage as you go along. Then you've got your Critical Chance Boost, Kinetic Deflection, which will help you tank demon hosts, Movement Speed Boost, and then True Aim, again, is the crux of this build. Why? Landing 5 weak spot hits grants your next range attack a guaranteed critical. think about the fact that even the small hits on the surge staff, like I mentioned early on in this video, think about that. It can actually help you hit weak spots. So you're going to be triggering your true aim quite often, which is insane. This is what I like about this. It basically gives you more criticals that you would have had before, allowing you to crit very reliably on your enemies. And that's what I like about it. So let's take a look now at the weapons, and then I will go over the Curios, and then last but not least, I'll give you a demonstration of how this functions. Now, there's no combat demonstration because you can just pay attention to the stream for that, but here's what I was using with this build. Highly effective. You can check the whole stream for it if you want, see all the various combat scenarios, but it worked really beautifully. All right, you've got your Macabian Mark IV dueling sword, standard for me. I've got 25% maniac damage in terms of perks. Sorry, let me just zoom in there. The 25% damage to maniacs is the crucial one. The other one is whatever you can roll. Some people have asked me whether or not you can use crit rate, all that kind of stuff. All okay. Just make sure you get the 25% maniac damage. For your blessings, you want Uncanny Strike. This is the crucial one. The other one is whatever you can get. You happen to roll Shred, that's really good. Take it. For your stats, what is important is obviously damage, for more damage. Finesse, because this will affect your weak spot and critical hit power. All right, that is crucial so you can stab mutants in the head. Penetration for additional damage versus armor. Okay, this is more in case you really have to stab a crusher. Mobility and cleave damage tend to be your so-called dumb stats, but mobility, you want to have it above 60, and cleave damage above 60 is fine. Try to get mobility higher if you can. If you could get a mobility above 70, that's good. Why? It affects your dodge distance, sprint speed, and all that. It won't affect it drastically or by much, but it does help, and just makes you faster, and you want to be fast, all right? The other thing to note is that if it wasn't obvious, metal also increases your movement speed, which can help you feel a lot faster in the field, helping you reposition. This is something that you'll feel more as you play through this build, right? Okay, that about sums it up for your melee weapon. Let's talk about the Surge Staff. For the Surge Staff, once again, we are applying certain factors that'll make this very viable. We go for the Maniac damage, just for anti-muty, Tox Flamers, things like that. You really want to be able to stop them fast. You can also go for flak armor damage, whatever you choose. Honestly, the damage perk doesn't really matter. What matters is the extra range critical strike chance, okay? You want Warp Flurry and Warp Nexus. Warp Nexus will allow you to get more critical chance based on your current level of peril. This, added to the fact that this staff has a critical bonus, which, although it says melee critical chance, actually probably refers to range critical chance. Again, they changed the one for the revolver, but not this. I don't know why, but it should be the same stat modifier. Either way, if your critical bonus is high, you should crit quite often with the staff, which in turn allows you to maintain your empathetic evasion, so you can literally walk through hordes of gunners without feeling a problem. Damage should be as high as possible, charge rate as high as possible, okay? And for charge rate, you want it above 70. Try not to have it too low, because otherwise, look, it might be a small difference between, say, a 0.93 second charge rate and a 1 second charge rate. It might seem small to you, but those little inefficiencies pile up. So what you really want to do is be able to manage to get that supercharged Surge Staff ASAP, all right? Warp resistance should try to roll as high as possible. Try to get it above 65 if you can. If you can't really, but 70 and above is really good. Quell speed is kind of your dump stat, but try to have it 60 or above. Why? Because you don't have solidity. All right. This build does not run with solidity, same as the Void Strike staff build, which means that, and of course you will notice that the talent tree is basically the same except for this empathetic evasion. Without solidity, your quell speed is quite bad. So if you were using a surge staff that had very low quell speed as a dump stat, you might want to reroll one that has a slightly higher quell speed. Try to get it like 60-ish if you can, but prioritize these 4 other stats, okay? Now, once you have all that, the last thing you're going to need is some Curios. Again, I run the standard set, 3 stamina, 17 toughness, 21 max health. There's for my perks, I always run damage gunners, toughness regeneration speed, and then the third perk is whatever you can get. Most of the time it's combat ability regeneration, so you can spam your venting shriek even more. Now, there's been a bit of a debate about toughness regeneration speed. The thing is that, yes, it only improves your toughness regeneration when in coherency, but the thing is, in Auric Damnation, you should be in coherency a lot. If you're away from your team, you're already playing wrong. More importantly than that, it also affects the delay of when your toughness regenerates. So yes, although you're regenerating from a whole bunch of different sources, such as metal, quietude, and soul stealer, you really don't want to rely solely on that. So toughness regeneration is a must-have for me. Some people have gone for other things like stamina regeneration. If it works for you, go ahead, just measure your own win rate. For me, this build has an approximately 80% win rate right now, and if your own build can overcome that, then good. All right, if it cannot, then you may want to try something like this. Okay, so what is it about this build that makes it so special, and what is it that really makes it work? Here's the thing, like I mentioned earlier, when you're in combat and dealing with the hordes, same with the Void Strike staff build, you basically want to do something like this. This will stack up your true aim and allow you to vent really quickly, burning them all out. Now, you only want to vent at about 100% peril so that you gain... Now, the Soul Blaze stacks are based on your max amount of peril, right? So after that, what do you do? What do you do after you've gotten your true aim? Well, for starters, what you probably want to do is look for an armored target or whatever, assuming you're burning out the horde already, and you can start hitting with a guaranteed crit. Okay, take note that you can also hit the weak spot with this, so as you go, you're going to get even more guaranteed criticals and start wiping them out. While your damage is a bit randomized, the fact is that in the field, you'll actually feel it wiping your enemies out quite often, because you just never know when that crit's going to come, but when that crit comes, you're also evading. Not only are you gaining from metal, right, you are also evading sniper shots, which is really great. Sorry, you're evading the range gunner shots, and the crit rate is pretty fantastic. Depending on how you structure this, I like to try and keep the peril relatively high. Like, I'll quell a bit, fully charge, and then go again, because this helps me constantly crit. And as long as you're critting on one target, all right, and even those little ticks are gonna potentially hit a weak spot, therefore giving you even more crits, you will just find that range gunners don't affect you that much, and you just sort of wander through them while casting lightning. You can actually see it more often on stream, where it becomes clearer than me just doing it on static targets in the meat grinder. Because when you're building up, you don't really crit all that much, but then all of a sudden the crits start really taking off, and all that matters is that one of the targets that you hit, you know, takes the crit. It doesn't have to be all of them. So, and even if they don't crit, eventually the weak spot hits are going to get to them, and bada bing bada boom, you're going to have constant crits just like that. You stack up your metal, you start moving fast, you'll be able to dodge gunfire and all that. It feels really fantastic, and if a horde's coming in, just unleash the smite on them. Okay, build up to max, and then bang. Okay, massive soul blaze everywhere, you quell back down, and then you start, you know, using your guaranteed crits to ramp up again. This can be very good because you'll be dealing with armored targets, stuff like that. Once again, I highly suggest you check out the stream if you hadn't already, because that is probably the best proof that this works. Okay? Thank you very much, guys. Normally I have a lot of viewer thank yous and stuff, but my throat is really feeling like hell right now. So I'm just gonna end this by saying thank you so much for watching my videos, and just know that although I can't always give it my best, I will still try to give it my best every single day, you know? Because for me, my viewers are very important. So yeah, I didn't want to delay this by saying, oh, I'm not feeling well, so I'm just not gonna. It's only a 13-minute video-ish, technically, to explain all this. So I hope you have fun with it. If you do want to check it out, definitely check the stream and you can see all the action happening. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel additionally, you can join as a channel member. You can send super chats, thanks, tips, all that kind of stuff. Up to you. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, I will rest my throat, be well soon, and then I will come up with even more stuff to entertain you guys. Revolver Veteran build is coming soon. I promise you. Okay? Get you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good day. Take care of yourselves.